Yo, it's Brian here. Today, on this Labor Day, going to be doing a new series for you guys, doing position by position, who has the edge in each one. So, for example, in this case, the 49ers versus Bucs, who has the edge in quarterback versus quarterback, running back versus running back, defensive line versus defensive line. You guys get the idea. Want to do this for every single game this week, all 16 games for the 49ers, and hopefully you guys do enjoy this series, something new I want to do. And tomorrow, I'll have prediction videos coming out for this game and who I'm going to pick for this victory, whatever you want to call it, for tomorrow. Yep, that's just a cool series I want to do with you guys. Hope you guys do enjoy this. Hope you guys do stay tuned to this. Let's get this video started, but before I do, please like and subscribe to support my channel. That is going to help me out a lot. Share this content, share this video with fellow Niner faithfuls. If you're a Bucs fan stumbling upon this video, share this content with fellow Bucs fans, because this whole week I'll be talking about this game in particular, and you get to see if I'm being biased or not. So yeah, there you have it right here. Let's get this video started. 49ers versus Bucs, who has the edge in each position. Alright, first off, let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. In this case, quarterback. Who am I going to go with the edge? Should I go with Jimmy Garoppolo or Jameis Winston? And I'm going to be looking at the backup quarterbacks as well. For me, personally, I'll probably go with Jimmy Garoppolo. I know he hasn't played a lot of games. He's been out all last year. He's just getting started. He might be very rusty coming in this game. But Jameis, can you really trust this guy? This guy likes to throw a lot of turnovers, interceptions, gets sacked a lot. Not really a mobile quarterback. Although, I do have to make a note. He did destroy us last year, but still, I mean, that was with us being beat up pretty good for the most part. A lot of people were on IR and what have you, so we were pretty much done. But, you know, he did that. He did have a great game against the 49ers last year, so I'll give him credit for that. But really, I mean, with Garoppolo and our improved defense, I think they're going to cause havoc for Winston, which I should not be talking about that right now. I should be talking about just these two quarterbacks. So, in my case, I have to go with Jimmy Garoppolo over Winston, and also the backup quarterbacks. If something happens to both these quarterbacks, I'm going with Nick Mullins over Blaine Gabbert. You know, he used to be a quarterback for our team a couple of years ago. And also, we got CJ Beathard. I don't know if I'd go CJ Beathard over Ryan Griffin, but for the most part, I think all of our quarterbacks from Garoppolo all the way to Beathard are better than Jameis all the way down to Ryan Griffin. So for me, personally, quarterbacks, I have to give the edge, maybe a slight edge to the 49ers just because of the fact Garoppolo, I think he's a more talented quarterback, but he is coming off an injury, which I am concerned about. I just don't trust Jameis that much, to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to be the same repeat performance that he had last year against the 49ers. I think he kind of got lucky there, and then the rest of the season he starts to play crap and what have you. So, you know, going with the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo. Next up, running backs. Who am I going to go with for this one? Well, if you're a 49er fan, you know we have Tevin Coleman, Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert, Kyle Juszczyk, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We would have McKinnon, but he's on IR. We would have Jeff Wilson, but he's not on this team right now. He's on the practice squad. And the running backs for the Bucs, they have Peyton Barber, Ronald Jones, and I don't even know who that is, Dare, whoever. But, I mean, for me personally, you know, I'm not trying to be a 49er biased guy. I said I was trying to be as unbiased as possible. I have to give the edge to the 49ers. In this case, I mean, you have Matt Breida and Tevin Coleman. These guys are established running backs. They can get the job done. And Breida, he looks like he's showing no age of slowing down. Mostert, he's a very good complementary player as well, so we do have more of a rotational back system with the 49ers. And Kyle Juszczyk, I mean, to have an extra fullback, I think that's another boost to them. So 4 versus 3, got to go with the 4 and more talented team in the 49ers. Next up, wide receivers. This might be a little bit more interesting just because of the fact I think the Bucs, they have one of the best receivers in Mike Evans, but other than that, there's really nobody that you know. I mean, you got Chris Godwin, Scott Miller, rookie, other guys like Watson, Bobo, you know, or Justin Watson or Bobo Wilson. And for us, we got some very talented guys, although they're very raw, but I think they're very talented as well. Marquise Goodwin, Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurd. I don't know if he's going to be playing for this game, but we'll see what happens then. Kendrick Bourne, all those guys. I mean, the receivers for us, we don't have a dominant number one receiver, but we have reliable guys that can get it done, although they should stop dropping passes. So for me personally, I don't know, to be honest with you. It's kind of difficult. If you're talking about having the best receiver just out of everyone, got to go with the Bucs and Mike Evans. But if you talk about the overall team, got to give it to the 49ers. I think they're a little bit more experienced. I don't know if you want to call that even experienced, because you got Deebo Samuel coming into his first year, Hurd coming in his first year, Pettis coming in his second year. I think this is Kendrick Bourne's maybe 4th or 5th year. So, I mean, a lot of these guys, they haven't been around that long. So, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to pick which one I want to go with. But, you know, for me, receivers, I'll probably give a very, very slight edge to the Bucs just because Mike Evans, he's a very reliable receiver, and he's a big dude, and he's proven from his time in the NFL a couple of years ago that he's one of the best receivers in the NFL and an underrated receiver as well. So for me, I'm going to be going with Tampa Bay just for a slight edge. The 49ers, they're a little bit inconsistent, I think. Sometimes Garoppolo does it pass and then they just drop it like Kendrick Bourne and what have you. So a little bit concerning. So for me personally, I got to go with the reliable guy in Mike Evans. And, it is a one-man show, but you got to have a reliable receiver, and Mike Evans has been proven to be that guy. But it's just a slight edge, people. So 49er fans, don't be upset. All right, tight ends. Obviously, I have to go with the 49ers with George Kittle. He's just an awesome tight end. I can't really say anything else. The Bucs, they do have O.J. Howard. I think this is his second year coming into the NFL. That's pretty good for them. And yeah, George Kittle versus O.J. Howard. Howard, he probably can be a good tight end, but Kittle, he's just coming off the best season pretty much by a tight end in NFL history. So I've got to give it to the 49ers and George Kittle. That's me right there. All right, next up, offensive line. I don't know, to be honest with you. I didn't do enough research for the Tampa Bay Bucs offense. I forgot how much, things that they gave up and what were their rankings in terms of the offense total. 49ers, I know I have a pretty good idea. They're really good for the run. They're not the best in the pass blocking protection, but, you want to talk about the running game, man, they could just run the ball down your throats, to be honest with you. With Bobby Turner, Kyle Shanahan running that team in San Francisco, wow, they can just run it up with that offensive line. And for the most part, we have a talented group, I would say. We have Mike McGlinchey. He's on the rise. He's upcoming. I think he could be a Pro Bowl this year. Joe Staley, hopefully he's not declining. I think he can still be the Pro Bowl offensive tackle that he can be for Garoppolo's blind side. Who should I go with? I'd probably maybe a slight edge to the 49ers. I don't know. The Bucs, it's kind of difficult to tell just because Winston, I'm pretty sure he's been getting sacked a little bit, and also he's just been throwing interceptions, so maybe he's not having enough time from his O-line to throw the ball to Mike Evans and company, O.J. Howard and them. But for me, I'm going to be going with the 49ers, just a slight edge. So really, 49ers, in terms of offense versus offense, I have to give it to the Niners. And also, I think our defense can stifle Winston big time just because of the fact we have Bosa, Ford, Buckner. That D-line is going to get through that O-line, in my opinion. Although their defense for the Bucs, they're on the rise pretty much. And, with a lot of guys gone, like Gerald McCoy, Quan Alexander, I think the young guys so far, they're doing a really good job. And Todd Bowles has this defense in the right direction. But just for this week 1, I think the 49ers overall, Jimmy will have an easier time against Tampa Bay's defense than Winston will against our defense. Although, as I said last year, Winston did tear up our defense, but this is a very different defense that we have with a lot of players. So for me personally, going to be going with the 49ers in terms of most of the offense. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4-1. The only position that I have the Bucs over the Niners is just the wide receiver position, but it's just a slight edge. So really, 49ers so far looking good. Okay, time to talk about defense now. Who has the edge in each position? First off, going to be talking about the Niners defensive line versus the Bucs defensive line. Who am I going to go with for the edge? For me personally, I got to go with the 49ers. I know I'm picking a lot of 49ers, but I think the 49ers overall as a roster, on paper, before the game, I think they're better than the Bucs, although it can very change and we can have a similar outcome like last year, but we got blown out. But I don't think that's going to happen this year. So really, I'm looking at the D linemen. You have talented guys like DeForest Buckner, D Ford, Nick Bosa. Oh man, it just looks amazing. I know they haven't really played together as a whole chemistry unit, but just the talent alone, I just think that they're a lot better than Tampa's defensive line. Although they have some very nice talent like Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea. Although Vea, I don't know if he's going to be playing for this game against the Niners. I think he's out for a little bit due to like a sprain or something like that. It was not that good, and I don't think he's taken the field yet for the Bucs since getting drafted a year or two ago. So for me personally, just with their overwhelming starting defensive line and also the reserve guys like Sheldon Day, DJ Jones, Jillian Taylor, what else can you say? 49ers definitely defensive linemen. Linebacking core, I'd probably give it to the Tampa Bay Bucs, actually. I know we have great talent with Dre Greenlaw, rookie guy, Fred Warner. I think he's going to be emerging as one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL. Quan Alexander, although very questionable just because of the fact I don't know if he's going to be playing week 1, I don't know if he's going to be 100%, and, you can't really give any intel from Tampa to the Niners just because of the fact they have a defensive coordinator in Todd Bowles. He wasn't there last year, so it's going to be a little bit different. The scheme's going to be different, although he knows the players and their tendencies. That is a big advantage, but just overall, looking at the talent, I think they have a really good core with the linebacking core. Devin White, their rookie, their 5th overall pick, he looks amazing. Levante David, he's a very talented guy as well. I'm looking at it. I think just Tampa Bay, I'll give them a slight edge, and I think they're going to be nice and hungry to do something good for the Bucs this year and in this game in particular. So slight edge to the Bucs just because I think they're younger, they have more talent, a little bit more healthier than the Niners, but we'll see what happens. But overall edge, Tampa Bay. Defensive backs. Okay, this is pretty interesting. I don't know who to go with, to be honest with you. I mean, the Niners secondary is very questionable. I'm pretty sure Tampa Bay is questionable as well. Who do I go with? But it's hard to tell. But I think for me personally, I'm going to be going with Niners defensive backs just because I trust Richard Sherman. Everyone else, I don't know yet. Jason Verrett, I don't know who's going to be the starting opposite cornerback to him. They haven't really announced that yet, so we'll see what happens between him and Witherspoon. But if Witherspoon starts, I think he's going to have a much better season than he did last year. Last year was just absolutely terrible. It was a nightmare season, sophomore slump, whatever you want to call it. But I think he's going to have a rebound year. Tavarius Moore, I'm very high on as a free safety. They cut Adrian Colbert for a reason, so they're going to go with Moore as pretty much the starting free safety. Although Jimmy Ward, I don't know what they're going to be doing with him. But for me personally, I would start Moore and Tart as the safety positions, and then you got Kwan Williams as a nickel cornerback. So really, I mean, the talent that we have on the defensive backfield, I think it's really good. But can they get it together? Can they not use unnecessary penalties? Can they turn the ball over, get some interceptions? Because that was a big problem last year, and we'll see what happens. Also, Anton Exum's on this team. Very good to have him. He's a nice role player, and I'm a big fan of his. So I'm glad they brought him back after getting cut on Saturday, but they're going to bring it back just because they're going to put Street on IR, so that's good right there. But for me personally, got to give a slight edge to the 49ers and going to be going with that. And special teams, I mean, really, the 49ers, we have Robbie Gould, Mitch Wishnowsky. Gould's probably one of the best kickers in the NFL. Wishnowsky, he can kick the ball really, really far. And yeah, I mean, that's all I have to go with, really. I mean, it doesn't matter who they have really on special teams for the Bucs. I mean, just looking at Robbie Gould, he can make all the kicks you want. Wishnowsky can get almost 50 net average yards. That's just amazing. Also, fun fact, Bradley Pinion is their punter. Hey, he was our punter last year, but I think Wishnowsky is a much better investment, and he's looking good so far after the preseason. And it's kind of different just because, you're just kicking the ball. You're not doing anything too crazy, no crazy schemes, no crazy coverages or anything like that. You're just kicking the ball, and it's going to translate to the regular season. So Wishnowsky is going to give him the edge, and special teams overall. So for me personally, 49ers, Tampa Bay, I have most of the edge to the 49ers. Not trying to be biased, but I have the 49ers just overall looking at the paper right now. Maybe Tampa will prove me wrong, and they'll have a much better team, but I don't know yet. Also going to be doing one more edge position, what you want to call it, coaching Kyle Shanahan versus Bruce Arians, and Kyle Shanahan versus whoever their offensive coordinator is. Todd Bowles versus Robert Saleh. You know what? To be honest with you, I'll probably give the edge to the Bucs coaching staff. Just the coaching staff. Just remember, Bruce, he's been there, done that everywhere. He's a quarterback whisperer, so he might be able to revitalize Jameis' career. If he has a very good game this Sunday, then you got to give credit to Bruce for being that quarterback dude. Plus, Todd Bowles, he's a very good defensive coordinator. Do not underestimate him. Remember, he was the defensive coordinator for the Cardinals a couple years ago, and he was giving us a lot of trouble. And yeah, these two guys, I think they are much more experienced, much more cohesive, I don't know what you want to call it, more edgier coaching staff than both Shanahan and Saleh in terms of the assistant coach and in terms of just the head coach in general. So for me, got to go with the experienced guy in Bruce Arians, although love to give my boy Kyle Shanahan a lot of credit for what he's done in San Francisco so far. So overall, I think it's mostly San Francisco right now, quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends, offensive linemen, defensive backs, special teams, and yeah, that's it. 7-3. Tampa Bay, I have them winning the wide receivers, linebacking core, and I think that's it. Is that it? Yep, something like that. And that's pretty much it, you guys. So really, 49ers edge mostly everything, and hopefully this translates to on-the-field success. I don't know. The game has to happen to make something happen, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, just my opinions, you guys. Please let me know what you guys think about this game. Who do you guys have the edge for each position? I like to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. If you guys like this, please like and subscribe to support my channel. That's going to help me out a lot. Hope you guys did enjoy this series. I'll be catching you guys up tomorrow on a Tuesday when I predict this game officially. I'll see y'all then. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Go Niners all day. Happy Labor Day.